Hi! Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Feature Film or Bust. This is episode 4. We've already churned out 4 of these things, and today I am joined by a certain someone named my brother.
Hey guys!
After the last episode that we did yesterday, I really wanted to bring someone else into the picture. I went through the list of the stuff that I've worked on personally, but I wanted to go a little bit more in depth with my, backstory, the inspirations, and the influences that go into the movie that we're going to be spending a year and a half of our life on. Having hit the 90-page mark, we are ready to start talking about this thing and sharing as much as we can, but let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this idea came about and what makes us as brothers work together, etc., etc. Let's do this.
It's gonna be a deep dive.
First, we wanted to start off with a poem, apparently, by Evan Swope.
So this is a poem I wrote 2 years ago when I kind of had a semblance of this concept running through my brain, and I was in a creative writing class where we were forced to write a poem. I don't like writing poems, but I just took the idea swimming around in my brain and tried to translate it into poetic form. I've been talking about this concept with my friend Chris, who's writing the movie with us. He actually came up with the title Human Resources.
So without further ado, let's sit back and listen to this poem. I have not heard it.
Could be really bad. I'm alone in the bookstore. No windows. Fluorescent lights. Pop music blaring in an unending stream from hidden speakers on the ceiling. Dull ambience echoing from the soda cooler. I stare into the bright, empty screen of my cash register. My mind is blank. My thoughts are drifting nowhere. Time moves as if through molasses. There's something in this store. Some sort of force lingering in the air. An almost sweet sadness. Something not so much alive, but constantly awake.
Dang! That totally is, in essence, exactly what we've been talking about this whole time. Just anyone who has worked retail. And it's the feeling of emptiness that poem described perfectly.
Yeah.
The second he pitched it to me, I was like, oh, we have to make this a movie.
Yeah. It's not something that I've seen, expressed before.
Right.
I feel like a lot of people have this experience.
People can relate to this if you haven't worked retail, because everyone's been inside any store in general that's near closing time or something, and there's something off about it. When I was a kid, I would always look at the employees only section of retail stores, and when we were younger, we'd always go to this one, Stater Brothers, and there was an employees only area, but that was the only way that you could get to the bathroom. You'd have to traverse the plains to get to it.
It's the same sort of artificiality of the main store, but without the bright lights,
Exactly.
the colorful signs, the tricks to you to buy. It's just dark and empty.
It's like stepping behind and seeing the man behind the curtain, except the man is a terrifying warehouse. And I think it was sort of something that we learned through working retail.
The veil is finally lifted. You're just you're part of that. You're part of that inner workings. And once you start working retail shifts, 6-8 hour shifts, I feel that's what really inspired this idea.
Yeah.
Just that feeling you can't even describe.
We're taking that through to our script. I can think of a moment in the scene where Sam is just sitting and staring at the clock, waiting to punch out.
Yeah, finally some justice for the 8-hour shifts of working.
I want to take it back a little bit and talk about how you and I sort of started.
Brayden and I grew up just consuming content endlessly.
Yeah.
Movies were definitely the thing that we did the most of. We
course.
would watch movies over and over again. I watched Shrek 3 times in one day.
I love you too, honey.
We took those years of just consuming, and while consuming, we were creating.
Yeah.
We had an imagination game that we would play, just have props and lightsabers and stuff, and we created a whole cinematic universe every time that we were hanging out together.
And then once we got our video camera, that just recreating Star Wars with the name change, that turned into something another step of creation. We would make parodies of things.
Yeah.
Sky high! I'm a boy. Yeah.
We would take these concepts for other movies and then throw our own jokes and riffs and weird characters onto that.
Because we introduced the parody element, and I think this is where our comedy roots come in, from just being insane for hours upon end. Once you start parodying, Parodying. Once you start doing that, you are doing your own stuff because you have to make your own jokes. And that is just how we started working together.
It's never something we can show, like, look at this amazing thing we made when we were 12. It was like us screaming into a camera, throwing pillows at each other. But like that shaped us so much now that we can actually take that experience.
No matter how terrible it is, you're making a product. Also, something that we totally focused on was making YouTube videos. I played like a character with like a high-pitched voice, and he was like the host of the show.
Welcome to the Sliced Tomato Show! Hello, and welcome to the Sliced Tomato Show season finale / Christmas special.
Through YouTube, we learned how to broadcast, basically. And I think that was a really important thing to learn. And it's even interesting right now talking about this stuff and trying to kind of connect the dots of like, why am I the way I am today?
Like therapy.
Until you talk about it, you don't realize that this is the thing that influenced you. This is why I act the way I am today.
I think an interesting thing to talk about was we were so inseparable in the stuff we made, but then once I went to OSHA, we kind of went opposite directions.
Yeah.
Because I went to OSHA in the writing program, and I was very focused on just writing. It was all about like the concepts behind things. I would never make anything actually tangible.
What I did was I started studying film, and I talked about it in my last video. I broke off and went the other way because I didn't think about writing all that much. Most of the stuff that I produced at the Orange County School of the Arts was other people's writing, but since we were so tangent from each other, we had sort of the two components of the sword that you need.
Yeah.
My senior year, I asked Evan if he wanted to help us write on The World Within Vincent, our senior thesis project. I sort of had to learn that writing process, and with like just working with you, we could make characters that we cared about.
We still had those sensibilities from working with each other.
It was just
Like, with all these new skills, we've both been training in different like, aspects of a complete thing.
So that was the first step, and it's only been 6-7 months since we premiered that thing, so we're new.
That's crazy.
I know.
Like much longer.
Doesn't it? Yeah, it's crazy. We're still like trial and error here, and I think that's what has been so awesome about eventually coming together to do this human resources movie. It's just like we have had the training. It's a scary thing to take on, but hey, I think we can do it.
We got 90 pages of a script.
Yeah, we got 90 pages.
A full crew for this movie.
A full crew. We almost have every key position filled on this project. This video probably will go up after we have finished the screenplay, so look for those updates on social media. At least a first draft, that is, because we're going to be revising all throughout January. We're looking at shooting in July of 2019, and the writing process is going pretty damn good. Lots is gonna be happening, that's for sure. Alright, well, I think that's gonna be it for Feature Film or Bust episode 4. Next week, me and Evan, we're gonna be taking a trip with our family to go up to the mountains, and we're gonna be working on finishing up every last little detail that we need to do before we start pre-production. So we are nearing the beginning of pre-production, which is really scary. Human Resources, look for its release in 2020, and we'll see you at the Oscars, I guess, hopefully, for Best Original Song. I was thinking a huge musical number in the middle of the horror scenes.
It's gonna throw this.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work for the movie.
I was just...
Alright, I think it about wraps it up on the other side. See you in the movies.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Evan, for being a part of the video.
Of course, happy to join.
That concludes us for episode 4. I'll catch you guys on the flippity flip. Have a wonderful rest of your day, week, I don't know. It's been a blessing. Peace out, NBD Productions forever.